Have you ever wondered why your puff does not taste as good as that of Mama Bende or Mama Nkechi on your street? It's because of a few mistakes that people make. Or you're wondering, why is my puff batter not rising? I'm going to list it out to you now. The first one is, if you're using a cold water to mix your puff. Now, yeast needs a warm temperature, okay, to activate. Now, if you are using a cold water and you put it in a room with a normal room temperature, what is going to happen is it's going to take twice the time or three times the time that it requires to actually rise for the puff off to rise. And by this time, trust me, my sister, you are running out of patience. So, what I would say to you is, if you are to mix your puff off, the number one thing is use a warm water. Now, don't use a hot water so you don't kill the yeast. Yeah, you get it? Okay. Now, moving on. Another thing that people do as well is that they might be using a yeast that is expired. Can you just check the expiring date? If the yeast is past its active period, I'm sorry, my dear, it's not going to make your puff batter right. So forget about it. Okay, so another thing as well is, if you haven't got probably enough sugar in it as well. I'm not saying that you should now, put a mountain of sugar into the puff. However, just make sure that you have a decent, amount of sugar in it. So for example, if I'm to mix 3 cups of flour for puff, I'm going to use half a cup of sugar for that puff. Am I making sense? Okay, so moving on. Once you have that done, I'm telling you, even the world best chef, the world best puff person in this world, always made the best puff in this world. They use this method. So number one, ensure that you have good all-purpose flour. All purpose, okay? Number two, ensure that your yeast is still in the active days, okay? Make sure it's not expired, okay? And also make sure that you get an immediate active yeast, okay? Don't get those yeast, one of those from the 1950s. Just joking. Anyway, make sure that you're using a warm water, not too hot and not too cold, just warm to touch. When you touch the water, it's just right. It's just warm. And then lastly, ensure that you have enough sugar. Now you can add salt, you can add milk. It's optional. It's entirely down to you what you want to add to it. Okay. And I've seen people do videos of banana puff, chocolate puff, coconut puff. I've done coconut puff before and it was really yummy. Having said that, I promise you, if you follow the steps, your puff is going to be tasting like that of Mama Nkechi. And in fact, you will not be patronizing her anymore. You have spawned business of Mama Nkechi or Mama Bende. All right then, if you watched up to this point, please, I will appreciate it if you could you share, and you show me some love in the comment section, okay? All right then, until I see you next time, bye.